Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a question that we get a lot. The question you're probably asking yourselves as well. Should you wait on your Social Security or take it earlier? What is the better option? Now, folks, you're not going to like this answer, but it depends. All right, it depends on what's going on in your life and your personal situation on whether or not you should wait for Social Security or take it earlier. So we're going to cover kind of what you should be looking at and some things to kind of ask yourself on what this looks like for you and what are some things that you might want to look at to make sure you're making the right choice when it comes to taking it late or taking it early. So a couple of things mattered here, and really the first one when looking at this is health. Okay, so how healthy you are and how long you might live. It sounds weird, but that's the first thing you have to look at because you have different break-even points. Okay, so what's a break-even point? We've done a video on this. You can look up below. But basically, there's a point in time where taking Social Security at 62 versus taking it at 65, there's a break-even point at some point there where you're going to receive the same amount of money depending on when you took the Social Security. And that point might be 79, could be 81, could be 84, could be 80. Somewhere in the high 70s to low 80s is typically the break even point range. So once you know that break even point, maybe it's 62 to 65, that break even point for you is 80 years old. Well, if that's the case, we better make sure we live over 80 if we're going to wait to take it at that later age, right? Or else we'd be better off taking it earlier. So health is the first big one. If you feel like you're going to live a long time and you're going to live way past 80 years old and you feel like, yeah, good genes in the family, I'm healthy today, maybe I should wait in my Social Security because I'm going to live longer and therefore receive a lot more payments, higher payments throughout my lifetime, then probably waiting is a better choice for you if we're going just off of that. If we're not so healthy today, and maybe we feel like we're not going to live past 80, then maybe it's better to take Social Security earlier. That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Now, there's some other factors too. Okay. So the other factor I look at this, one is just your total income situation. Do you need the money today? Or do you need more money later? Those are two big questions, right? Because right now, if your Social Security at 63 is $1,000 a month, and if you waited at 65, 66, is now going to become 1,500. But you need $1,000 right now to live and do what you have to do. You might be better off taking Social Security early to get that $1,000. Whereas if you feel like, you know what, I don't need the $1,000 now, I'm still working today, or maybe you don't need the income at the moment because you have other income coming in, well, then maybe you should wait on your Social Security to a later date. So the need, like the necessity of the income becomes a factor too. Where if you need it, you probably should take it. If you don't need it, maybe it's better off waiting. You'll get more income in the long run if that's the case. And third one is taxes. A big one no one really thinks about. So why would taxes matter? Well, Social Security happens to be taxed a little more favorably than what your IRA accounts might be taxed at. What do I mean there? Well, your IRA gets taxed every single dollar that comes out of there. If it's not a Roth, if it's a traditional IRA, gets taxed at ordinary income rates. Social Security, at the moment, 85% of it, at the most, will get taxed at ordinary income. 50%, 15% will not. Now, if you're in lower income brackets, right, it could be 50% of your Social Security gets taxed. If you're even lower, it could be 0% if it gets taxed. Depends on your provisional income. We have another video on taxes on Social Security that you can watch with us, but that depends there. Right? So the question kind of becomes, would you rather have a larger Social Security payment, right, that gets taxed a little bit more efficiently, and a smaller IRA payment, or the reverse, right? Have a larger IRA payment that gets taxed more and a smaller Social Security payment? Which would you rather have? right? So depending on when you take your Social Security, that can affect that tax decision there. And we see this happen all the time. People make this decision maybe purely off of health, purely off of taxes, purely off if they need the money or not. They don't look at all these different things that can affect them. And maybe one outweighs the other. Someone's going to live a long time, but they need the money now, right? Which one's more important then? Maybe we're going to live a long time, but from a tax standpoint, it might make sense to take this money earlier because we have a lot of Roth money that we can use, and we're not going to get taxed on that money anyway, right? So there's different situations that we have to look at and figure out which one is the best place to go. But health, right? How long we're going to live, if we need the money or not, and taxes, those three things play a major role. And when you might want to choose your Social Security and what that looks like going forward. So if you're wondering if you should wait or not, definitely look at those three things. There's a bit more out there too to look at, but those are three of the important ones. You want to make sure you kind of lock in and make sure you're in a good spot there. Whether you wait on Social Security or you take it today. Hopefully you learned something new throughout this video. We're going to have some more videos on Social Security coming out as well. So subscribe to the channel. Learn as much as you can before you make that big decision. Any other questions, leave a comment below. Okay, folks, but good talking to you. Hopefully you learned something today, a little value to you. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks.